Uncovering the dark secrets of Siberia's infamous Gulags, let's delve deep into the infamous forced labor camps where thousands struggle to survive in inhuman conditions. Have you ever stopped to think about how humanity faces the extremes of nature and evil? In this video, you will not only uncover the dark secrets hidden beneath the eternal ice, but also understand the lessons of resilience, hope, and the importance of keeping historical memory alive. This is content that goes beyond captivating. It educates, alerts, and deeply touches upon issues related to human rights and the capacity for overcoming adversity. Are you ready to unravel the frozen secrets? Join us on this journey and explore the history that the ice tried to erase. Welcome to the Fascinating Traditions channel. Here, we unravel fascinating secrets and explore the incredible world around us. Don't miss out on the discoveries. Subscribe now, activate notifications, and embark on this knowledge adventure with us. The population and geography of Siberia are as vast and varied as its territorial expanse. Covering nearly 10 million square kilometers, this region makes up about 77% of Russia's total area, but is inhabited by only around 36 million people. This makes Siberia one of the places with the lowest population density in the world, a fact that profoundly shapes both its culture and its economy. The vast expanse of Siberia is marked by an impressive variety of geographical landscapes, including immense taigas, Arctic tundras, Rocky Mountains, and the extensive plateaus of central Siberia. These geographical features not only define the physical appearance of the region, but also influence human activities and ways of life. For example, while the tundra and taiga areas in the north are less inhabited due to extreme conditions, areas further south, with milder climates and access to rivers and lakes, support a larger population and a more active community life. The large distances and often inhospitable terrain complicate the development of infrastructure, but also preserve vast areas of virtually untouched nature. This provides a crucial habitat for many species of plants and animals, making Siberia an important location for global biodiversity. However, it also poses significant challenges for economic development and the provision of services, including health and education, to the dispersed population. Population distribution in Siberia is quite irregular. Large cities like Novosibirsk, the largest city in Siberia, Omsk, Krasnoyarsk, and Irkutsk are urban centers where population density is comparatively high. These cities function as cultural, economic, and administrative hubs, providing resources and services that are less accessible in more remote regions. Ethnic diversity is another striking characteristic of the Siberian population. In addition to ethnic Russians who make up the majority, there is significant representation of various indigenous groups, such as the Yakuts, Buryats, and Tuvans, each maintaining their own languages, traditions, and cultural practices. The interaction between these different groups and Russian settlers over the centuries has created a unique cultural mosaic, reflected in music, art, cuisine, and local festivals. This geographical vastness and population diversity give Siberia a unique character within the Russian and global context. While its geography imposes natural limits on growth and development, it also offers unique opportunities for tourism and the exploration of natural resources, playing a crucial role in the Russian economy. The ongoing challenge for Siberia will be to balance these opportunities with the preservation of its natural and cultural heritage for future generations. The Trans-Siberian Railway, an engineering marvel that connects continents and cultures, is like a thread weaving through the vastness of Siberia, carrying with it stories from every corner of Russia. This legendary train is more than just a mode of travel. It is a vital artery that traverses the remote and often inaccessible heart of Siberia, linking Moscow in the west to Vladivostok in the far east. Built in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Trans-Siberian is not only a technical feat of engineering, but also a monument to the human spirit and determination. Stretching over 9,000 kilometers, it is the longest railway line in the world, crossing 8 time zones and serving as a crucial link for trade and communication between the East and the West. Along its route, the trans-Siberian offers a glimpse of the diverse landscapes and cultures of Russia. Travelers and passengers are treated to breathtaking views of taigas, steppes, majestic rivers, and mountains, each region with its own unique history and contribution to the Russian identity. Stops in cities along the way allow for deep cultural interactions, from the art and music of Novosibirsk to the historic markets of Irkutsk and the stunning landscapes of Lake Baikal. Furthermore, the Trans-Siberian is a reflection of Siberia's multicultural coexistence. On board, we find a vibrant mix of languages, traditions, and cuisines, reflecting Russia's rich ethnic and cultural tapestry. It is a place where stories are shared and friendships are formed, transcending cultural and geographical barriers. The influence of the Trans-Siberian extends beyond transportation and tourism. It plays a crucial role in the economic development of the regions it passes through, facilitating the transportation of natural resources and manufactured goods. Its existence continues to drive the expansion of small towns and communities, creating new economic opportunities and encouraging greater national integration. Thus, the Trans-Siberian is not just a testament to human ingenuity or a connection between the East and the West. It is a living symbol of Russia's ability to unite its vast and diverse population through a line that intertwines the old and the new, celebrating both the nation's heritage and progression. Through its carriages and rails, it continues to tell the stories of the past and the present as it moves towards the future. In the cultural vastness of Siberia, a mosaic of beliefs intertwines, including Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, each adding vibrant hues to the richness of its identity. This religious and cultural diversity reflects the region's long history of migrations, conquests, and trade that shaped it, making it a unique meeting point for diverse peoples and traditions over the centuries. For example, Buddhism flourishes mainly among the Buryat and Tuvan ethnic groups in southern Siberia. Buddhist monasteries and stupas. The landscape, not only as places of worship, but also as centers of education and cultural preservation for these communities. This religious practice often blends with shamanic rituals, reflecting a fusion of beliefs characteristic of Siberian spirituality. Islam is predominant among the Tatars, Bashkirs, and other ethnic groups in northern Siberia, such as the Kazakhs. In cities like Kazan, Islamic presence stands out in the minarets the horizon and in vibrant communities that celebrate festivals like Eid with great enthusiasm. Islam in Siberia, with its own traditions adapted to the local environment, shows how a global faith shapes itself to the region's cultural characteristics. Although less prevalent, Judaism has deep roots in the history of Jews in Russia, many of whom were exiled to Siberia during periods of persecution. The small but resilient Jewish communities in Siberia maintain their traditions and teachings, contributing to intercultural dialogue and the religious diversity of the region. Christianity, mainly represented by the Russian Orthodox Church, has a strong presence throughout Siberia. Churches with golden domes are a common sight in many Siberian cities, serving as places of worship and community centers. Christian practice in the region often incorporates elements of local culture, demonstrating the fusion between faith and indigenous traditions. This cultural and religious diversity contributes to a sense of social cohesion and regional identity in Siberia. Festivals, rituals, and celebrations of various beliefs occur side by side, enriching community life and promoting mutual understanding among different ethnic and religious groups. Moreover, this coexistence of diverse religious traditions highlights Siberia as a vibrant example of cultural pluralism and tolerance, in addition to being a region of extreme geographical and climatic challenges. Therefore, Siberia's cultural tapestry, woven with threads of diverse beliefs and practices, not only defines the region's identity but also serves as a valuable example of how diversity can enrich and strengthen a society, even in the face of the most difficult challenges. In the remote village of Oymyakon, Siberia, life defies all concepts of what is possible. Known as the Pole of Cold, this place is the extreme of extremes, with winter temperatures often plunging below -50 degrees Celsius. For the local residents, winter is not just a season, it's a constant battle of endurance and adaptation. This icy climate not only dictates the rhythm of daily life, but also shapes the culture and resilience of the people who live there. Imagine a cold so intense that even the mercury in the thermometer freezes. In Oymyakon, this is not an exaggeration, but a common reality during the winter months. Temperatures can plummet to -68 degrees Celsius, a recorded record that makes this village one of the coldest continuously inhabited places on the planet. In this relentless scenario, simple tasks like going to school or the market require meticulous preparation and special care to avoid frostbite and hypothermia. Life in Oymyakon is deeply rooted in a series of unique cultural adaptations. Residents wear heavy clothing made of animal skins, one of the few effective defenses against the biting cold. Local architecture reflects this need for insulation, with houses designed to retain heat. Additionally, the diet consists mainly of meats and fatty fish, providing the energy needed to cope with the low temperatures. The extreme conditions also influence social interactions and daily activities. Most social life takes place indoors, and many homes have saunas, not only as a luxury but as a necessity for physical and mental health. Vehicles need to be kept in heated garages or with engines running constantly, otherwise, the oil can freeze. Even electronics require special care to function properly in this extreme cold. Despite these adverse conditions, the residents of Oymyakon demonstrate incredible resilience. The community is tightly knit and traditions are passed down from generation to generation, helping everyone to adapt and thrive in this challenging environment. Stories of resistance and adaptation are common, reflecting the resilient spirit of those who choose to call this place home. They share a deep understanding of the environment and a survival capability that is rarely seen elsewhere in the world. Oymyakon offers a fascinating study of how humans can adapt to the planet's most extreme conditions. For visitors and scientists, it's an opportunity to understand the limits of human habitability and the incredible adaptability of people. For residents, it's a daily reminder of what is possible when community and culture come together to face the challenges imposed by nature. Oymyakon is not just a place. It's a life lesson, a story of resilience, and a testament to humanity. But the relentless cold of Siberia is just one part of its narrative. In this frozen land, the shadows of the Gulags loom, vast prisons where thousands of lives were forgotten and where brutality was the norm. These forced labor camps, established during the Soviet regime, became infamous for their inhumane conditions and brutal methods of control. Nestled in remote regions of Siberia, the gulags were used by the state as a tool of terror, punishing dissenters and criminals with exhausting labor in sub-zero temperatures. The presence of the gulags not only witnessed oppression and suffering, but also represented one of the darkest chapters in Russian history. Within these prisons, life was a daily battle for survival. Prisoners faced not only the intense cold and food shortages, but also constant violence from both guards and fellow inmates. Despite the extreme adversities, many did not survive their time in the camps, succumbing to exhaustion, illness, or the debilitating effects of severe cold. The legacy of the gulags still echoes in the culture and collective memory of Russia. Today, these sites are remembered as dark monuments to the capacity for human cruelty, but also to the incredible resilience of the human spirit. The remembrance of these camps serves as a grim, yet necessary reminder of the consequences of governmental power devoid of moral or ethical boundaries. While the physical structures of the gulags have largely disappeared, corroded by time and extreme weather, their stories are preserved by historians, survivors, and their families. Through museums, books, and orally transmitted narratives, Future generations learn about the horrors faced in these camps and the importance of keeping alive the memory of these times to ensure that such atrocities never happen again. The history of the Gulags in Siberia is not just a narrative of repression, but also a powerful testament to human resilience in the face of adversity. It teaches us about the importance of remembrance and acknowledgement of pain and suffering for healing and progress towards a more just and humane society. The history of these camps is like a dark echo from the past, still resonating in its barren lands. The Gulags represent a silent testimony to the harsh reality faced by those who were forced to live and work in almost unimaginable conditions. This brutal chapter of history not only reveals cruelty, but also the resilience of the human spirit against adversity. The echoes of these forced labor camps still reverberate in the region to this day. Many of the towns around these camps were originally erected by prisoners and, although they have grown and evolved since then, they carry with them the memory of their dark beginnings. The land still holds artifacts and traces of those times, and occasionally, new archaeological discoveries shed more light on the living conditions in the camps. From a broader perspective, the remembrance of the Gulags serves as a crucial reminder to modern society about the dangers of authoritarianism and the suppression of individual freedom. Museums and memorials dedicated to the Gulags have been established to educate future generations about these injustices, promoting a sense of justice and the need for vigilance in times of unchecked governmental power. Furthermore, literature and cinema play a crucial role in keeping the memory of the Gulags alive, with works that explore not only the suffering and brutality, but also the spirit of camaraderie and hope that many prisoners shared. These stories are a window into understanding the deepest aspects of the human condition, highlighting both the capacity for cruelty and compassion. Even today, survivors of the Gulags and their descendants continue to fight for recognition and compensation for the injustices suffered. This quest for justice and reparation is a crucial aspect of the reconciliation and healing process, not only for the individuals directly affected, but for society as a whole. Thus, the history of the Gulags in Siberia is not just a reminder of the shadows of the past, but also a call to action in the present. It urges us to reflect on the values we uphold and the importance of defending human dignity against all forms of oppression. By recalling these events, we are reminded that freedom and justice are precious goods that must be protected and preserved at all costs. Among narratives of isolation, few are as profound as that of Agafia Lykova. As the last survivor of a family that fled religious persecution, Agafia has lived for decades in complete isolation, witnessing the passage of time, utterly disconnected from the modern world. Her existence in the remote forests of Siberia represents a return to the fundamental principles of human survival, relying on the land and her personal resilience more than on any contemporary technology. Born in 1944, Agafia Lykova is the youngest of Karp and Akulina Lykov, who in 1936 chose to isolate themselves from society after a Soviet atheist attacked the family's eldest son. The Lykovs fled to the heart of the Siberian taiga, where they built a modest cabin and lived far from any trace of modern civilization. There, they endured harsh winters, surviving on a meager diet with no access to modern medicine or healthcare. Agafia's story gained notoriety in 1978 when a group of Soviet geologists stumbled upon her during an aerial survey mission. They were surprised to find Agafia and her family living in conditions that seemed to belong to centuries past. Since then, the story of her isolated life has sparked both admiration and concern. After the death of all members of her family, Agafia chose to continue living alone in the cabin, refusing invitations from authorities and various organizations to move to more populated areas. She prefers the solitude of the forest, maintaining the traditions and religious practices of her family, surrounded by a nature that both challenges and sustains her. Now in her later years, Agafia leads a life that is a fascinating paradox. Although isolated and remote, she is not completely disconnected from the outside world. Volunteers and researchers occasionally visit her, bringing supplies and news from the outside world, as well as essential medical assistance. These encounters represent a rare point of contact between two vastly different worlds, the ancient and the modern. The story of Agafia Lykova is not just a saga of survival and isolation. It is a powerful reminder of human diversity and the incredible capacity for adaptation and prosperity under extreme conditions. She personifies a form of resistance, not against political or social oppression, but against the erosion of time and modernity, keeping alive an almost forgotten way of life. From challenges to wonder, from adversity to freedom, the story of Siberia is a saga of extremes. Through our documentary, we hope to have captured some essence of this extraordinary place for you. If this journey has inspired you, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more adventures around the world. Thank you for watching. Until the next adventure,